Good morning, students. In the last class, we were discussing about formation of continuous frequency distribution. In that, some of the basic concepts that you have to learn before solving the problems. And we are done with the basic concepts. Now, in this class, we will start with the principles of classification. Principles of classification. Or we can also call it as rules of classification. So what are the principles that you have to follow while classification of data? So the first and foremost principle is number of classes should be between 5, 4 and 15. That means while framing the class continuous frequency distribution, number of class intervals should be minimum 4 and maximum 15. Within this range you have to frame the class intervals. So the first principle says that number of classes should be between 4 and 15. Minimum 4 classes should be there. If it is less than 4, then it is not effective to form the continuous frequency distribution. By reducing the width of the class, you have to make sure that the number of classes will be minimum 4 and maximum 15. Next, second one is, while framing the frequency distribution, as far as possible, you have to frame the exclusive class intervals. You have to consider exclusive class intervals. Why? Exclusive classes I have explained in the last class itself. What is exclusive class and what is inclusive class? In exclusive class, both lower limit is included in the same class, but upper limit is excluded but included in the next class. But in inclusive class, both lower limit as well as upper limit is included in the same class. So while framing the continuous frequency distribution, it is better to always frame the distribution with exclusive class intervals so as to ensure the better continuity of classes. There will be better continuity in the classes if there is exclusive class intervals. Then third principle is the width of the classes should be constant. Classes should be constant. That means while framing the class intervals, whatever width you are going to consider, that should be equal throughout the class interval. For example, if you are considering width as 5, then you can frame it as 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Here in all these classes, the width is 5. It should not be like this. For example, if you are writing 5 to 10, next 0 to 5, 5 to 15, next 15 to 20. Here in the first class, the width is 5, in the next class it is 10, next it is again 5. See, here width is unequal. Like this kind of class interval should be avoided. Always while framing the class interval, you have to make sure that width of the class will be equal. So width of the classes should be kept constant. Next, the fourth principle or the fourth rule of classification is avoid open-ended classes. Open-ended classes. What are open-ended classes? Open-ended classes are those classes where either lower limit or upper limit of the class will not be specified, like less than 10. Or you can even one more example is above 10. Above 10 or less than 5. Here less than 5 means upper limit is specified, it is 5, but lower limit is not specified. This is called as open-ended classes. See here, above 10. Above 10 means lower limit is 10, but above that means upper limit is not specified. This kind of class interval should be avoided because you can't find out mid values for such kind of classes. If at all, if you are asked to find out the mid values for this type of classes, for finding the mid value, you need both upper limit as well as lower limit of the class. That's why in order to find out mid value, you should avoid open-ended classes. That's why this is one of the rule of classification. You have to avoid open-ended classes because you can't find out mid values in such classes. Next, fifth principle is you have to arrange the classes in ascending or descending order. In ascending or descending order. Either classes should be in ascending order or descending order. Either it should be from lower to highest or it should be from highest to lowest. Like this you have to arrange the classes. Next, the lower limit should be lower limits of the class should be multiples of 5. Should be multiples of 5. So lower limit, whenever you are going to frame the classes or continuous frequency distribution, the class intervals lower limit should be one of the multiples of 5, like 5, 10, 15, 20. Like this you have to use the lower limits. So these are the 6 principles that you have to follow while classification, or these are the rules of classification. First and foremost, number of classes should be between 4 to 15, minimum 4, maximum 15. Next, you have to make sure that while framing the continuous frequency distribution, as far as possible you have to frame exclusive classes. Next, width of the classes should be kept constant throughout the distribution. Avoid open-ended classes because you can't find out mid values for such classes. Next, arrange the classes in ascending or descending order. Lastly, lower limits of the classes should be multiples of 5. So these are the principles of classification. Now we will solve the problems. While solving the problems, you will come to know what are the principles that you have to follow and construct the frequency distribution. The problem is, let us consider the weights. Let us consider the weights, that is in kg, of 50 students. 50 students of a college. Weights, that is here, weights of 50 students of a college is given. Weights are 42, 62, next 46, 54, 41, 37, 54, next 44, then 32, 45, 47, 50, 58, 49, 51, 42, next 46, 37, 42, 39, 54, 39, next 51, 58, 47, 64, 43, 48, 49, 48, next again 49, 61, 41, 40, 58, 49, 59, 57, 37, 34, 56, 38, 45, 52, 46, 40, 63, 41, 51 and 41. See, all these are the weights of 50 students of a college. 50 students weight is given here, that is in kg, and we are asked to construct a continuous frequency distribution for this. So what we can do is, first of all, for constructing the continuous frequency distribution, you should know how many classes you have to frame, and you should know what is the size of each classes. In the principles of classification, I have told you in the first point itself that minimum 4 classes should be there and maximum 15. So we have to frame the continuous frequency distribution in such a way that there will be minimum more than 4 but less than 15 classes in a class in a continuous frequency distribution, and width of the class should be means lower limit of the class should be multiples of 5. So first of all, for considering or finding out the number of classes, you have to apply Stirr's rule. And next, for finding out the width of the classes, we can apply the formula range divided by number of classes. So in order to find out the width, first of all in the solution, we are going to find out what is the range of the given data. In the previous class itself, I have explained you what is range. Range is nothing but it is the difference between highest value and lowest value of a given data. So in this data, we are going to find out which is the highest value and which is the lowest value. See here, the lowest value in this given data is 32 and the highest value is 64. In this given data, lowest value is 32 and the highest value is 64. So now easily we can find out the range of the data. So range is equal to, formula is highest value minus lowest value. So highest value in this data, as I have told you, it is 64 minus lowest value is 32. When you deduct 64, when you deduct it, it will be 32. So range of the data is 32. Now, in order to find out the width, you need number of classes as well. As width formula is width of the class, that is denoted by small letter C. Range divided by number of classes. So how to find out this number of classes? You can find the number of classes with the help of Stirr's rule. So number of classes, first we will find out number of classes. Number of classes as per Professor Stirr's rule. Stirr's rule are obtained as follows. Obtained as, number of classes is denoted by capital letter K. K is equal to 1 plus 3.322 log n. 1 plus 3.322 log n, which is equal to 1 plus, write as it is the value 3.322. What is n? N is nothing but number of observation. Here number of observation given is 50. Here 50 students weight is given, that's why n is equal to 50. Now in the place of n, substitute the value as 50. 1 plus 3.322 log 50. First of all, we will find out what is log 50, what is the value of log 50, then multiply it with 3.322, then add 1. According to Bodmas rule, we have to go. First find log value. So this will be as it is, 1 plus 3.322. First we will find out what is log 50. In your log table, you have to open the log page where 50, the first column you have to see 50, and in front of that what is the value you have to check out. In log table, when you open, in front of 50, the value is 6990. And what is this? Is decimal part. After point, this value will come 6990. But here the number of digit is 2. 2 minus 1, it will be 1. So 1.6990 is the log value of 50. First of all, there are 2 digits in 50. So 2 minus 1, it will be 1. 1 point. Next you have to see in log table what is the value of 50. So value of 50 in log table is 6990. Now solve this. In Bodmas rule, first you have to solve multiplication, then addition. So first solve this. 3.322 into 1.6990. So it will be 1 plus, when you multiply, the answer will be 5.644078. Now you can add 1 to this value. When you add, it will be 6.64. So approximately we can't take the decimal part, we have to approximate it. Approximately 6.6 means we can take it as 7. So this is approximate number of classes in a frequency distribution. We can frame the frequency distribution with 7 classes. Now we can find out what is the width of the class. So width of the class is equal to range divided by number of classes. So number of classes is denoted by capital letter K. Range, just now we have calculated, range is 32 divided by number of classes we have found out with the help of Professor Sturt's rule. Number of classes is approximately 7. So 32 divided by 7, it is 4.57. So this also we are going to approximate it. 4.5 means we can take it as 5. Width of the class will be 5. Approximately 5 units we are going to consider in each class. Now we will frame the continuous frequency distribution. Thus we can write as the size of the class is 5. Thus the required continuous frequency distribution is now we will frame the continuous frequency distribution. While framing the continuous frequency distribution, first and foremost step is you have to write the title of the table. So here the question is asked to frame continuous frequency distribution on weight of 50 students. So the title of the table will be table showing frequency distribution of weight of 50 students. Weight of students. This is the title of the continuous frequency distribution. Now as in discrete frequency distribution there were 3 columns. Likewise here also there will be 3 columns. First column is class interval. There it was variables. Class intervals. In class intervals we are going to write weights in kg. Next column will be tally mark, where we are going to mark the stroke or tally in front of each class interval where the value will lie. Tally marks. Next column is frequency. Frequency is denoted by small letter f, and here in frequency it denotes number of students. Now we will frame the class intervals first. In discrete frequency distribution we used to write the individual values separately, but in continuous frequency distribution we are going to frame the class intervals. So just now we have calculated what is the width of the class and what are the number of classes that we are going to frame. Here the size of the class is nothing but the width of the class is 5. So 5 units we are going to consider in one classes. So lowest value is 32, and one more principle of classification is lower limits of the classes should be one of the multiples of 5. So 32 is not one of the multiple of 5, that's why we are going to start with 30. 30 is multiple of 5. So we will start with 30. Lowest value is 32 and we are multiple of 5 is 30. So starting from 30 we are going to include 5 units in one classes, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and we are going to frame exclusive class intervals. In the principles I have also explained you that as far as possible you have to frame exclusive class intervals. So in exclusive class we are going to consider lower limit, but we are not going to consider upper limit. That's why 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 means 5 units, but we are going to consider 35 also, because 35 is not included here. It will be included in the next class. 35 is not included in the first class, it will be included in the next class, because it is exclusive class interval. 30 to 35, next 35 to 40. 40 is not included in this class, 40 will be included in next class. 40 to 45, next 45 to 50. 45 to 50, next 50 to 55, 55 to 60. Highest value is 64, so it covers within 65, so up to 65 we will write. 55 to 60, next 60 to 65. Now we will start marking tally in front of classes where the values will lie. So first value, now we will mark one by one. First value is 42. So 42 lies, we are going to see in which class it will lie. In front of that class we will mark. So 42 lies in between 40 to 45. So mark in front of this class as 1. First tally or first stroke is marked in front of 40 to 45, because 42 lies in this range. Next 62. 62 comes in 60 to 65. So mark one stroke in front of that class. Next 46. 46 lies in 45 to 50. So in front of that mark one stroke. Next 54. 54 comes in 50 to 55. Next 41. 41 will lie in the class 40 to 45. Mark one stroke. Next 37. 37 comes in 35 to 40 class. Next 54. 54 is in class 50 to 55. Next 44. 44 is in class 40 to 45. Next 32. 32 lies in the class 30 to 35. Next 45. 45. See, 45 is repeated twice. One is in 40 to 45. Next is in 45 to 50. Now in front of which class you are going to mark? See, as it is exclusive class, 45 is not included in this class. It is included in the next class. So you are going to mark the stroke in front of 45 to 50. In front of 45 to 50, you are going to mark. Next 47. 47 comes in 45 to 50. Next is 50. 50 comes in. See, this also repeated twice. 45 to 50, 50 to 55. See, 50 is not included here. It is included in the next class. So in front of 50 to 55, you are going to mark one stroke. Next value is 58. 58 comes in 55 to 60. Next 49. 49 lies in 45 to 50 range. Next 51. 51 lies in 50 to 55 range. Next 42. 42 is in the class 40 to 45. Next 46. 46 is in the class 45 to 50. See, after 4 strokes, the 5th stroke is drawn diagonal. Diagonally you are going to mark the 5th stroke. Next 37. 37 lies in 35 to 40 range. Next 42. 42 lies in the range 40 to 45. This is also 5th stroke, so you are going to mark it diagonal. Next 39. 39 lies in the range 35 to 40. Next 54. 54 lies in 50 to 55 range. This is the 5th stroke, so mark it diagonal. Then 39. 39 lies in this range 35 to 40. Next 51. 51 lies in 50 to 55 range. Next 58 comes in 55 to 60. 47 comes in 45 to 50 range. Then 64 is in the range 60 to 65. Next is 43. 43 is in this range 40 to 45. 48. 48 lies in 45 to 50 range. 45 to 50 range. Next 49 also comes in 45 to 50. 48 in the same class. Next 49 also in the same class. So that is the fifth one. Again mark it diagonal. Next 61 comes in 60 to 65. 41 lies in 40 to 45 class. 40 again in 40 to 45 because 40 is not included here. It is included in the next class. Next 58. 58 lies in 55 to 60 range. 49 lies in 45 to 50. 59 in front of 55 to 60. 57 again in the same class. Mark it diagonal. Then 37 comes in 35 to 40 range. This is the fifth one. So mark it diagonal. Next 34. 34 comes in 30 to 35 range. Next 56. 56 comes in 55 to 60 range. Next 38. 38 lies in 35 to 40 class. 45 in 45 to 50. 52 in the class 50 to 55. 46 is in the class 45 to 50. 40 is in the class 40 to 45 because 40 is not included here. 63 comes in the last class where 60 to 65. 41 is in the range 40 to 45. Again one more diagonal you are going to mark. 51 is lies in 50 to 55 class. Next 41. 41 is also in the class 40 to 45. So these are the tally marks that we have marked. Now we will write the frequency. So 30 to 35 there are 2 students. Next 35 to 40 kgs there are 6 students. Next 40 to 45 there are 11 students. 45 to 50 10 13. Next 50 to 55 8 students. 55 to 60 there are 6 students. And lastly 60 to 65 4 students. Now we will make the total. Total of all these values will be so it is 50. Total of all the values, when you add all the values it will be 50. That means it should tally with number of students given. Here number of students is 50 as well as total of this frequency distribution is also 50. So like this you are going to frame the continuous frequency distribution. First of all you should know how many classes you are going to frame and what is the width of the class. You can find out the number of classes according to Professor Stur's rule, and then you have to find out the width of the class. Width of the class is equal to range divided by number of classes, and range is highest value minus lowest value. And while drawing the frequency distribution table, first you have to give the title for the table, then write the column headings, then draw the tally, then total you have to do. So this carries 5 marks in your annual examination. So title 1 mark, then body of the table 3 marks, and for total 1 mark. Totally you are going to score 5 marks if you draw this table. So the next problems we will solve in our upcoming classes.